Edith Piaf. This is where it all starts. Her parents. They were like circus performers. Her dad was like an acrobat street performer in Normandy, born in Normandy, and her mum was also a singer and circus performer who was Italian. Yeah, she got a bit of Italian in her too.
Just like you.
Like me. And her granddad was an acrobat. So she's got this whole like circus performer kind of background to her family, which is it's not hugely surprising that she became a performer herself. But she was basically abandoned by her mum at birth and sent off to live with her maternal grandmother, who was like a madam in a brothel in Normandy. So she literally grew up in a brothel, surrounded by like all these prostitutes that kind of looked after her, and she sort of made friends with them. So you've got this like
basically born into drama.
Born into all the drama from like the ages of 3 to 7. She lived in that.
It was going to be a tragic heroine,
and that's where she grew up. At the age of 3, she went blind. From the age of 3 to 7, she went blind, and she was kind of looked after again by the prostitutes who were kind of became her sort of surrogate mum. So in a way, she kind of had this affinity for the kind of prostitutes and stuff, and they actually all chipped in to take her to on a pilgrimage to Saint Therese of Lisieux. I'm sure I've butchered that. Really? But basically, it's shortly after this pilgrimage, she wasn't blind anymore. Yeah. So that's where she kind of grew up and had her formative years. And then just as she's probably starting to get, somewhat, a hang of life, her dad takes her away and is like, now you're coming with me now, and takes her on the road with him, essentially to join like a traveling circus. And then she's basically being dragged around by her dad all over France while he's being like a street acrobat. That's kind of where she sort of learned to perform, because when he was performing to drum up a crowd, she would sing. And then she eventually leaves her sort of dad and kind of struts out on her own in the 1930s, and she meets her lifelong best friend Simone, and they lived rough on the streets of Paris. But basically the two of them would survive by singing on the streets of Paris and living on the streets of Paris. And it was doing that she was eventually discovered by nightclub owner Louis Lepli. And that's kind of when she started getting some sort of momentum, because he was super connected in the nightclub scene, and he put her on for the first time, and he gave her the name, the Little Sparrow.